What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How are y'all doing? You had to. See, why do you always got to say you're ready and then you're like,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
uh
I'm
huh,
ready. I'm
uh
ready.
huh. Okay.
I'm
Well, we
born ready.
we we got a we got a short but quick one, and it's this basically the next steps that's going to be happening because this is pretty much another major milestone. Just like, the internet was that I grew up with when it came out. You already doing your thing as a older, gentleman. You didn't have your cane yet, but you were already doing your thing. Um
Mhm.
so now this next well, I guess it's the generation after the one behind me is growing up with this, and that's AI. This is the big thing that's been going on the past, what, more than a month, maybe like the past like 4 months. Started to blossom and grow pretty fast. They've
What?
got a lot that's going on currently. I mean, there's already, I've already seen stuff to where YouTube videos are getting automated by AI and people were making money off of it. And of course, the biggest thing was papers being written by college students with AI, and they had to make another program to try and detect whether or not the papers were being written by AI. And I guess at this point, it's kind of, I mean, it's a new thing for you, just like the internet was when that first came out. So as you being the generation older, seeing all this stuff, I guess I want to get your opinion on it and how you feel about it. And I mean, you can make comparisons to the internet as well, because I mean that was going to be the first step if you want to as well, because it kind of feels like the same thing happening again.
Well, with AI, um, I see a lot of good things. Some good things in it, and I see some future bad things where it's going to take jobs away from people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the footprint is going to look totally different, and where would that leave people? Um, are people going to be able to afford AI in their homes if that's going to be the norm? Um, and in China, they're probably ahead of most nations right now in AI technology, and it's almost like a surveillance thing where they identify you, and if you break the law, or, walk across the street, that determines your status. Is that something that we want to nurture and come into play
Mm-hmm.
based off of what do you call it,
Right.
algorithm, whatever
Right.
they come up with, and and it's being based off of what that is being asked of it. Like, so is it necessarily? I just think you just have to use caution.
Mm-hmm.
Don't jump into it so quickly that you don't have things to understand and say, well, just like self-driving cars, there's issues with that.
Right.
It's certain things that it can't detect and it cause accidents and things like that. Just stop. We need to slow down and realize the consequences of allowing something to have total control.
Well, do you think it's going to? And here's where I relate this to. It's like the internet. When the internet first came out, I don't think
Mhm,
there's a way to stop that trade necessarily, because it's going to keep growing on itself. Just like when the internet, it
mhm,
was like this small little thing, and then you see where it's
right,
at now. With AI being a software and not installed in something, it being necessarily in the net, where you actually ask it questions and it's retrieving all the information from the internet to give, just like your iPhone or something like that would
that's right,
do.
right.
It's going to be kind of hard to stop something like that because it's in that same realm. Because I feel like this is Internet 2.0, in my opinion. This is the Internet 2.0, and it's going to be a big boon. However, this thing can potentially learn on its own, and
Yes, heard of
that's
that.
that's
Yeah,
that's the big thing, is that it has the potential to learn on its own, and then with it having constant access to the internet and basically cyberspace, it can pretty much do whatever it wants. So these movies, it kind of it's kind of funny because it ties into like all these movies that we saw. The biggest one being what Terminator Two
Mhm.
with like Skynet and all that. So you kind of get those kind of vibes. It's just like that has the potential to actually be there, but
Right.
you're gonna have. I don't know how you necessarily monitor it because, like I said, it's in the internet. I mean, like
Right.
it's in, there's,
It's in Skynet.
it's there. I mean, there's you can't shut down the internet, so it's gonna be difficult to monitor it. I guess, in my opinion, I don't know.
So you embrace it. You don't
You
see
I don't think you
any
have a
caution in it.
there's gonna be caution, but I don't think you have a choice. Just like the internet. That's what I'm saying. Like the internet came out, you have to embrace it. Like yes, it made your lives better, but there's also a lot of negatives that came with the internet.
That's right.
It was just
That's right.
like
So
you can't really. There's not a whole lot you can really do about it because it's here now. You know, I mean, the only thing you could have done was stop the people that were trying to do it, but you know
you can't stop them.
that would involve erasing them from existence. It's
Terminator did it. No, no, I'm just. But but what my concern and basically the concern of probably a lot of people is yes, it's going to eventually be there. In 10 years, everything's going to probably look different. You're going to see a lot of AI and things like that. But you need to have things in place where you got to have a kill switch.
well, what is your kill switch? But that's what I'm talking
Yeah, yeah,
about. What's your kill
right.
switch?
You
How do
kill.
you how do you go about it? You gotta go because I mean the only kill switch you're gonna be able to
Well,
do is take us back to primitive times without before the internet. We'd have to go back to
well,
pre internet.
well. The thing is, if you have something that you can't stop or control, or constantly gaining knowledge and you can't stop it, then that's a problem,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So you're going to have to come up with, you need to come up with the kill switch before you come up with the technology to allow that to take place.
Right, but I'm saying, what would be your kill switch? What would be your? I mean, it can be. It doesn't have to be an absolute solution. But what do you think would be the kill switch, though? 'Cause, I mean, like I said, it has thousands upon thousands of years of data to pull from, like all the information back to the early 1900s, even before then, that it can learn from. It's just not doomsaying or anything like that. But I'm just
But you think about it, AI technology is based on, it pulls this stuff from
right,
the past.
right.
It doesn't, you know, like humans, we could change and predict and react to present day future.
Hmm.
AI, it can't do that.
But it can make algorithms to where it can have a close idea though. I mean, I've seen some AIs where it can,
Based on the
yeah,
past,
but I mean,
what
history tends to repeat itself.
yes,
History tends to repeat itself. I'm just saying, it's just eh, like I understand the concern. Don't get me wrong, I understand the concern,
what is
but
concerned? It should
I
be.
feel like it's literally a one for one of the internet starting and that whole situation because I'm sure a lot of people that were the older generation of um, above you probably had the same concerns when the internet first came out, just like your generation now is witnessing the AI
AI.
boon. And now I'm sure there'll be something else by the time I hit, that next tier. There'll be something else, 20 years down the road or whatever.
But you think about it, in let's say 10 years, they're the main thing on factories and things like that. People are going to be out of work. What are these people going to do?
Better learn how to code.
Well, yeah, yeah, you're going to be
Better
stuck,
learn how to code.
but but that's it.
Right.
I mean, and if you don't fall in those lines, homelessness, you know, I mean, you got to provide for your family, or
Right.
can you even have a family?
Right.
Will the AI allow you to have a family?
Yeah.
Will the predictions say, hey, you do you want this intelligence saying you're relevant or not relevant?
Right. I mean,
Yeah, that's a scary thought
yeah,
based
no, you're
on
absolutely right. You're at 100% correct, but it's just like you got to worry about your digital footprint when that stuff when that stuff comes out. So you think cancel culture's bad. If AI becomes real, oh, they'll have a whole backlog
it's
on you.
coming.
Yeah, yeah,
It's coming.
yeah. I'm
And,
sure.
and, and that, your generation and the people under you
Hmm.
gonna embrace it.
And we don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, absolutely, but you probably, but you're not worrying about what could go wrong. You're
No, I
not
know it can go wrong.
concerned. You're not concerned about how you're going to stop it if it does go wrong.
I
You,
mean,
you,
that goes to the same question: how are you going to stop the internet? Like, how do you stop the internet?
well,
That goes to it falls in that same category. Am I wrong? Like, to please tell me if you think I'm wrong. Please tell me in the comments. Like, I feel like it's literally a one for one comparison to the internet. It's like, how do you stop the internet? If you stop the internet, you stop AI. How do you stop the internet?
but the thing is, you do have people checking and asking the questions and saying that your personal stuff is not just up for sale, or even though they do it, they
Right.
try to do it, get around it, but it's still people are checking that. People are, asking questions. People are in an uproar about it. But if you get to a society where those that's not being checked, or nobody is monitoring,
Mhm.
minding the store,
Right.
then you're gonna lose all that, and you get what you get, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. And I think it's going to, well, just like the internet, I think it's going to fall into the hands of the government as far as how to control it. But even then, it's one of those things like they really didn't do a whole lot to stop the internet. Like you can say all you want to. Like when it first came out, okay, yeah, you can monitor a lot of things, but
Mhm.
as it grew upon itself, like then other countries get access to it and everything like that. It's like what can you do?
Yeah,
At that point, it
yes,
becomes it's on you to it's on you to safeguard yourself.
yeah, and I'm have to question the legitimacy of the government trying to police it as well, because they, you know, these big, Google and Facebook, they got lobbyists just like any other major company, and they're gonna make sure their agenda, they're paying to get their agenda, passed,
Right.
or so to what extent the government's going to police it, I doubt it. It's all about the money.
Right.
So, and we're slaves to the internet. We're slaves to this now, to the point where
We've
you
already
know
been conditioned to live on
that's
it.
right.
Like we don't have any other option to
But-
live without it. Essentially.
And and now you control the narrative. These companies control the narrative. They give you the information they want you to have, and not give you information. So with the AI, I just think we need to slow walk it
Hmm.
and get all the possibilities, make sure they are covered,
Right.
and then try to put a decent product out there. Now, when it comes to medical um, and prosthetics, it's an awesome thing when somebody can, get a limb. They got, missing a limb,
Right.
had amputation, and they can get a prosthetic and using AI for movement and things like that. That's great. That's it, it. It makes people. It has some good. Like I said, AI is not all bad,
Right.
but but when you get to the point where you relied on it and you're not relying on this, the human, you take the human element out of it. I think you're asking for trouble.
I mean, I think they're already at that point where they're not relying. Because, like I said, the first thing, literally the first thing I said is like there was a big controversy about it, writing papers for
Mhm.
college students, and like that's not
Oh, yeah,
that
that's not
anybody that went, yeah, anybody that went in
that's not
college is like, why am I doing this? Like, if I, why
the
am I writing this
research,
paper?
all the research.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it's already started, and I've already seen, like I said, I've already seen the AIs basically can interpret your voice. Like I don't know if you've heard, but there was a I forgot who it was. I think it was Drake and somebody else where the AI made an artificial like rap album using their
Mhm.
voices, and Drake had to come out and say no, that I didn't do that or whatever. I was like, it was great publicity for him because it was like, oh
Right.
yeah, this sounds exactly, but it has the ability to take your voice and makes and do it has the ability to do a lot of different things, but it can take voices from other people and apply it to videos, and it's already wild, the extent of what you can do with it. It's just I don't know. It, I just don't know how you go about like stopping it, because it's like I said, it goes hand in hand with the internet. And it's like how do you stop the internet? You know, like the only
Yeah.
option we're gonna do is go back to candlelight and candlelight reading the books and ink pens.
And then if you can't stop it, in other words, you become a slave to it.
Not necessarily. No, you don't have to become a slave to it, but it just falls on the person, I guess. I mean, you have people that are like digital nomads that are out there that don't really use a whole lot of like electronics and things. I don't know anybody personally, but I've seen people talk about it where they just live off the grid or whatever,
Yeah, absolutely,
and things
absolutely.
like that. They'll probably be the ones that'll be the safest ones if everything went downhill.
Well,
But
well, they'd be the outcast, and they'll probably the AI would be searching for them to
yeah,
snuff them out.
yeah, probably
But the thing is, like you said, the turnaround, the AIs and factories. You got a piece of equipment that's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. The
right,
production is, how can you beat that production?
right.
No
It,
breaks, no breaks. It's constantly doing that job.
it would affect a lot. It's not even just manufacturing. It can go
We just
into like um doctors. Like
doctors,
it'll
that's
pull
what I
because
said,
it had like
medical.
it has the information from the internet and be like, oh, this is how you do this surgery, or it'll pull information on how to diagnose whatever is going on with the patient. It affects a lot of different things, and not just the manufacturing portion. Even though I can see
Absolutely,
a lot of those
and then
people being out of
I,
jobs and whatnot.
yeah, because I even think when you talk about the medical, also that they can predict future illnesses based on information,
Right.
and so it could be beneficial, but do you want to live a long life under the thumb of AI, or do you want to live a long life just enjoying life?
I mean, how do you stop the internet? How do you stop the internet?
That's a question. Young people gonna,
No, that
you
was a
know,
question that
I'm
y'all.
ask-
That's a question y'all should have asked when the internet first came out. Because I was a little kid watching Power Rangers and all this other stuff. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about any of that as a little kid. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That was in y'all. That was in y'all's court, thinking about how we
Well,
supposed to.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But the thing is, it was a drastic change quick. I don't think like 10 years from now, that's the prediction that AI is going to be like like everybody's going to be the norm.
Mhm.
You're going to be familiar with it. Self-driving cars. They're going to work out the kinks with that, and the whole footprint is going to look different. And are we ready for that? Is 10 years long enough to put things in place that people can handle it or tone it down if need be.
Right.
That's the question that has to be answered before we start just pushing with this AI. You know, it's
But do you think we've already been, and I just had this thought, do you think we've already been preconditioned to be used to it with the phones, like Siri and Alexa and all that other stuff? We're,
baby steps.
yeah, like
Yeah,
we've already been exposed to it over the years,
that's
so it's
right.
just like now it's just a little more extreme the fact that it can write, you ask it to write a paper for you and stuff like that, but like we've already had that already. It's just now it's being it's being broadcasted wider and it has more resources to pull from and can do more things outside of, hey, just bring me the weather report or the market, the instead of you asking it basic questions and it pulls up an article.
Right, right.
Now it goes a further step and it give you an algorithm to look at market trends and stuff like that for the stock market. And
Yeah, look how that's going to change. That yeah, it's I don't know. We can't, like you said, we we could try to stop it, but this I don't see that happening.
yeah,
Um,
once it was uploaded to the internet, it was a done deal. Like the fact
that's
that
right.
once you're able to put it on a web browser and type it on the internet, it's a done deal because anybody can have access to that and look at the coding on the back end and pull that from that and upload it somewhere else. Or it can upload itself if it was smart enough. I'm not saying that that was the case, but
Right, right.
going to extremes and saying like, hey, if it was a little bit of Skynet, it already uploaded itself, and or be like Jarvis. I think we're going to the point of Jarvis, like Tony Stark. That's where I think we're heading.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Iron Man suit or something like that the next 10 years, fully functional. Like it'd be a government thing. I'm sure the government will do something like that if they don't already have it, but I wouldn't be surprised. You see an Iron Man suit in the next 10 years.
with the way technology and how quick things are, and absolutely. And to think about it, you can't. It's not all bad. It's
Mm,
not all bad, but it could is we got to look for things that possibly can happen
right.
and make sure we put things in place to protect human life. And that's my main concern.
Mm,
Um, when human life and human knowledge and well-being is placed to the side over AI, or have an AI determine what is relevant and what is not, we're going in the wrong direction.
mm.
We Skynet. We're going Skynet. We're going.
I mean, I see it as a couple of different outcomes. Like I see it either being a Jarvis, from the Marvel series, or we
So
can.
they scan you and say, "Oh, you're not healthy enough, so I discard you. Just
Well, no,
take
that's
you
not
out."
what Jarvis did. But I mean, you're going to the extreme. That's not what Jarvis did, but you go to the extremes
Right,
there. I
right.
mean, yeah, it can have potential to do that. But I mean, that was another outlook I was looking at. It was I don't know if you've seen Futurama, but they
Mm-mm,
basically they scan when you come out of the little tube, the cryo tube or whatever. Just the explanation of how the show starts. You come out of the cryo tube, they scan you, and then according to like your genes or whatever, they're like, oh, this is the job that's best for you. They put a chip in your hand, and then that's
mm-mm.
what you're assigned to for the rest of your life. Essentially, is like whatever that job is. So I mean, it could probably go that route too. Determine, scan
It
you from a little kid, be like, oh, this kid's gonna
could,
be, X, Y, and Z, and I don't know. I just feel like this what's going on right here. This is our internet to what the internet was to y'all. Back then.
but we could handle it. We could handle it. I don't think y'all guys could
What are you
handle
talking about? We're
this.
more accustomed to all the technology stuff.
Well,
Eh,
that's the problem. You're so accustomed to it that you're willing to not think about
No,
what could go wrong.
it's
You
not a
think it is
not think
all
about.
you're embracing it like, oh, it's great.
It,
This
it
is great. I
it's
don't have to do nothing. I can sit back and have a AI just run through the
No,
house and clean the
no.
house,
Let's
and then
let's
all they
not
just sit back.
let's not get it confused because we already know your generation would be the first ones to be like, "Oh yeah, it makes life so easy." But then you'd be the first ones to ask us, "How do we do X, Y, and Z?" Oh, can you come fix this for me? Yeah,
I'm
you can
just
try to
saying.
keep a straight face if you want to because you know that's how
I'm
it's gonna work.
I'm just saying that we'll probably say, "Well, I'll clean my own house. I'll do this."
I don't think so. I don't think
But
so.
you
I don't
you
think
know your
so.
generation would be like, "Oh, go ahead,
I,
Jarvis.
I don't
Make
think
me
so.
dinner. Whatever."
I don't think so. You know good and well that's not how it's gonna be. You know good and well. I don't know why you try to lie in front of all these people and say that that's what it's gonna be. No.
Now they got automatic touch of grass. Now they got something you just roll out there and then
Yeah,
it
and you'd be like,
goes around.
oh, on a Sunday, oh, now I can watch my Cowboys play. I don't have to go out there and do any yard work. Exactly. Don't even try to act like that's
Uh,
not the case. Don't.
but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I like to get the exercise. I like to go out there and
No.
cut it myself.
Okay. Okay. Cowboys playing. You
So
wake up at 12:30. Cowboys playing at 1. Oh, hey, can you go mow the grass for me? Don't even act. Exactly. Don't even act like you're gonna be sitting out there trying to mow the grass at 12:30, 30 minutes before the game starts. Mm-mm.
but certain things are important. You can use them, but not all
Oh,
the
that's
time.
a certain. Okay, okay. Uh huh. Yeah. Look at you. Pick and choose. Pick
But
and choose.
overall, you embracing it. It's going to be a great thing. It's going to be a different look.
Hmm.
It's going to be a different look. But what about the people not working?
Right.
Affordability, um, joblessness. If you're not technical, if you're not into computers, I feel for you. You're going to have to find something
Right.
because it's going to take over those industries, those menial, repetitious type jobs, production, medical, things like that. So uh, just it's going to be different.
And I know one thing. I know y'all are gonna be going through it because you already go through it enough with the automated systems to pay your bills. Boy, when that when that AI takes
They will
over,
still take checks. They will still take
when that
checks.
AI takes over, oh, they be like, yeah, we have nobody in the office for you to speak with.
Yep, the banking industry is going to change.
Right.
Yep, the banking industry
Y'all
and
are going to
with
be
AI.
going through it because I already know certain individuals be getting frustrated when they have to sit there and speak in the prompt instead of talking to somebody. Mm-mm,
Mm,
mm-mm. I
that's
already
true.
know that's going to be a key thing if it goes that route. I'm just saying.
It's going. It's
Yeah.
going that route. You know it, and
I mean, but
you seem okay with it.
this already stuff I've
Dealt
already,
with.
yeah, I've already grown up. It's growing. I'm growing up with this stuff, so it's nothing
With this stuff.
like a shock factor. Like, oh my gosh, like what's this new stuff? It's like I've already been. The internet came out as I was growing up, so I grew with the internet. I grew up with the internet, and the stuff
Uh-huh.
that the internet that AI is doing now is a little bit is a little bit broader than what it basically. The automatic teleprompts when you call in to pay your bill and stuff. That's all computer generated. So we're already exposed to that stuff to make our lives easier as far as our generation, to alleviate some of the
Mhm.
things that we do. However, I'm still mindful of certain things and think like if there's something that I need to take care of, I'd rather speak to somebody than try to get
That's
through an
right.
AI that's not going to be comprehensive of what I'm trying to do. Like I
That's right.
still know there's places for certain things.
It's only going to do what it's told to do,
Exactly.
but it's not designed for anything outside of that.
Right.
It throws it off. It throws it off, but like you said, the technology now they have in that it learns, it, it it builds its knowledge. So that that's scary in itself, because the thing is, the closer you try to get it to human, to make it human
Hmm.
like, or you know, the close, it's treading on thin ice.
Right.
You walking on thin ice because this thing can say what's obsolete, just like humans.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, what's bad, and use whatever means at its disposal to eliminate, change, direct, you know, the outcome. So I, it's uh, I probably won't be here for all that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something to think about. I got family, generations, behind me that's going to be a concern.
Right. And that's one of
Your
the
generation, you probably lived through it.
we're
You
like I said,
probably be
we're going through it. I grew up. I'm growing. I'm living with this stuff that's going on. It's not like it was for you guys when the internet first came out and you're young
that's right.
adults and things like that,
That's right.
and you have to experience that. Like I was a kid when the
That's
internet
right.
came out. I'm growing
And
up.
now these
I'm
kids
growing.
now
I'm growing up with the
at
stuff
three
as
and
it
four
comes up.
got iPads and
Right.
they know how to manipulate and move things and
Right.
yeah.
Like I
And
grew
so
up with all that stuff that was coming out, so it's not like a whole shock to me. It's like I have to learn as it comes out. So I'm learning as this new stuff comes out. So I'm constantly learning. Whereas somebody in your generation, it's like, oh, this is new. It's not like you're not
I
used
don't
to it.
right, right, right.
So
What's working is working for me.
exactly.
That
See
new
that,
stuff
and that's
like that,
that's the difference. You have your things that were working for you, whereas I'm growing up with it and going through it as it's developing. So it's like these are always constantly changing for me. So I have to make sure that I am well. I mean,
up
not
on it.
not necessarily all the time, but I mean, we're at a certain point, like right before AI. I guess you could be okay with everything that was
Mhm.
came out before then. But now it just depends on how far it goes. But like up until the AI point, you're like right there. You can be like, okay, I'm good with everything that I've learned up until that
Mhm.
point. But if you want to keep going, yeah, it's the same thing. You just keep growing with it.
Yeah,
So
I'm just pointing out China is, ahead of most every country out there.
mm,
And their system, man, is very intrusive. I mean, they're in the lives of people.
but that's no different
And
from
and,
it's no different from us.
and well, you know, the, it determines your status. If you jaywalk across the street and you do it, they that can lower who you are
Mm,
standing as a person in the country.
right.
So, but they said that it helps eliminate crime. It reduces crime.
Hmm.
So, it, are you willing to give up your civil liberties to?
And I think that's the key difference. Like we have too many
Yeah,
people that are going to be against that to where that I don't think it would be that extreme.
mhm.
Um,
That's right.
but it's the possibility still there.
But the
Like
younger you are, the more likely you are to do so.
right. I mean, because like I said, it's not any different than what's going. They're already listening to us 24/7. So
That's right.
it's
Some means, Yeah, I'm just saying, just be cognizant of that because you're gonna be giving up with that AI stuff and the cameras and the information, all these you giving up a lot of your privacy. That
right,
privacy thing's pretty much out the window.
right, right. Yeah, 100%. But you know, how do you stop the internet? It goes back to my original question. How do you stop the internet? Like the only way you're gonna stop the
That's
internet is
that's that's how y'all gonna have to figure out. Y'all
right.
guys have to figure out how you gonna stop it.
No, no, no. See that, and that's what I'm talking about. See, that's
Skynet,
exactly that's
Skynet,
exactly what I'm talking about. You guys had the option to regulate or whatever you wanted to do at that time when it
we
first came
tried.
out. Like,
We tried.
oh, you tried. I don't think you tried hard enough. I don't think you tried hard enough. And now you put the onus on us to figure. Oh, you guys are good. You figure it out because you guys are growing up with that stuff. You'll
Look
figure it
at
out.
TikTok. The congressional thing with TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Fight for you.
Fighting for who?
You.
No, they fighting to line up their pockets. That's what they fighting for. Mm-mm,
They
no,
fight for you.
no,
Your
no,
privacy.
mm-mm,
Your information.
nope, nope. You already got all my information. You have my information since I came out the womb. I'm not listening to that. You had all my information when I came out the womb, and that birth
Just
certificate was
saying.
signed, and I was assigned a social security number. You got all my information right there. I'm not listening to that. No, not doing it.
Just saying. It sounds good, right?
No, no, no.
So,
Not
so
gonna
we
sit there.
are out there
Not gonna
fighting.
sit
We're
there
fighting
uh,
for you.
past a buck and try to be like, oh, you guys will figure it out. No, no, you had the option to nip it in the bud when it started. We tried. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
we, we tried.
what
Obviously.
about the congressional hearing on TikTok?
Hmm.
That's fighting for you.
No, I'm not listening to that. I'm not. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to that. No, nah, mm-mm. I'm not
And
listening to
tell your
that.
young people
No,
nothing.
it ain't you telling us nothing. Is just, mm-mm. There's too many underlying factors in that, and that, mm-mm. No, 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 no. You're not gonna sit there and lie to my face like that. I tell you that right now. You're not gonna sit there and lie to my face. But
So who's gonna fight now? Who's gonna fight now?
fight what? That's the question. Fight what?
AI, AI.
That goes back to my question, original question. How you stop the internet? Mm.
I don't know.
Who should have stopped the internet when it came
We
out?
tried,
Okay then. Exactly.
but, but yeah, it's coming. And but just be ready. Do whatever you need to do to prepare yourself, and hopefully it's used in the right way.
Right. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all doom
No,
and
it's
gloom.
not.
But
No,
I
it's not.
just I just wanted to for my topic I wanted to bring it up because this is I felt like it was a one for one of what happened in what was it 97, 96, whenever
Right, and the
internet
nice
something like that.
internet.
So it's kind of like the
That's
same
right.
thing. AI starting to come up. You hear the little inklings of the internet, and then they put it together. It's kind of the same thing here. You hear the little things of the AI, and now it's starting to write papers, and you can have it make shorts for you and do videos, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can already do. So
And there's a lot of stuff in the works.
right,
We hadn't even seen yet, but they're working on it.
yeah,
They're doing it.
yeah,
They're
that,
doing it.
and that's why I felt it was a one for one because it was the same thing with the internet when it came out. Oh, you could do certain things. You go to certain websites and stuff, and then it just built upon itself as it actually it built faster upon itself once I would say like the mid 2000s. It like early 2000s I would say early 2000s. That's when it blew up.
It's still it's still growing.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not doom and gloom. Just be mindful of what you're doing, I guess, or whatever route you want to take.
And
Just
pay attention.
right.
Just pay attention. But I don't know what you can do. I
Exactly.
just
It's one of those things. Unfortunately, you deal with it.
deal
Like
with it.
once it was made and it was able to learn, that's a wrap. And it has the backing of the internet.
And they got the backing of influential people with a lot of money
Exactly.
to make things happen. It's going to happen.
Right. So
So
what can you do? Because I know you're not. I know 99.9% of y'all ain't gonna shut down the internet. I know that for a
yeah,
fact. You need it. You need the internet.
yeah, you just don't have the means or the tools to do so.
Right.
So you're pretty much at the whim of people who controls all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they know it. And they know it. So
Yep. But I just wanted to get your opinion on it
yeah,
because, like I said, this was
it's good.
this was something that it, actually it's repeating itself if you think about it. AI coming out, internet coming out, history repeats itself. So just look at it that way. So there's going to be something else maybe 30 years from now that it's going to come out again, maybe.
But 10 years from now, the footprint is going to look totally different. Things going to be totally different.
Right. But
There'll definitely be self-driving cars. I mean, I know they got
you mean
it now.
fully self-driving, like yeah.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
I'm more so looking forward to like the Jetsons kind of thing. I was always kind of enamored with that, little flying cars, so you don't have to get
Yeah,
on a plane. But that's just me. But
that's not going to happen. We can't drive on the plane.
I'm just saying,
There'll
getting a
be
little
all kinds of accidents, cars falling on your head because drive. Nah, they can't. No, No.
Hey, it's on its way. We'll be flying cars here soon.
Well, the thing is, and then I mean, the last point, it's going to be disparity between the have and have nots
Right.
during this time. It's going to be poor, it's going to be rich,
Hmm.
and it's not going to be no in between and all that stuff. It's the in between might be the ones that do code, like you said,
Right.
the but it's going to and if it's not going to be the betterment for everyone, then what are we doing?
Right. I mean, it'll be presented as the betterment of everyone, but at the end of the day, somebody's pockets are getting lined with coin.
And that distance is going to be separated. It's going to be homelessness and all that stuff. You know, you see the economy. You know, it's people can't afford things now. Think
Right.
about then.
But also, as a caveat to that, now's the time to actually look into it and get it on the ground floor if you have the means to
That's
do
right.
so. So you end up
If you
being
had to be,
in that middle or upper echelon if it gets to
that's
that
right.
point. So it goes
It's
both
going to be
ways.
separate. It's
It
going to be
goes
a
it
major
goes both
separation.
ways.
And we're talking 10 years is not long.
Not at all.
Let's put it out there. You know, you got kids, you got teenagers. You better guide them in that direction.
Right.
You know, so
But yeah, that's all, old man. That's all I wanted to talk about today. And like I said, I just wanted to present the question of how you stop the internet.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Because I feel like it's just
you work
history.
around it.
It-
You work around it. You
Oh,
don't
okay.
stop.
Oh,
You work
okay. Oh, okay. So that's the mindset y'all took when it.
work around it. Work around
Oh,
it.
okay.
That's right.
Okay. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this one. We'll
Yes.
see you next week for his snore fest of a topic. Um, but maybe
You're right.
you know what? It might not even be a snore fest because we might have AI by that time to do another topic, so he won't even have to do anything. He'll just be able to,
That's right.
take a nap while we'll have an AI in his voice, and he could just take a nap.
That's right. That's right.
But
No.
we all hope
But
you enjoyed it. We'll see you all next week.
peace.
Until then, take care. Be safe. Later.